I remember lying down in a very foggy place and I saw 7 beings. There were 7, the 3 in front of me. I could see them clearly, but you couldn't see their faces. You could only see their silhouettes because there was a light behind them.
I'm going to greet Rosita, who is live with us in Mexico. Hello, Rosita. How are you? Good evening.
Good. I'm fine. Thank you.
Welcome. Where in Mexico are you?
In Guadalajara.
Okay, we actually talked through emails, but I don't really know what you're going to tell us. I didn't want to ask you to tell me anything in advance so that we can all experience it together in this interview. But I know from what you told me before that you've had contact, or at least that you're an experiencer of the unidentified flying object phenomenon. Have you experienced something like that?
Yes.
Can you tell me in chronological order how this event started in your life?
Yes. How much time do I have?
As much time as you want, but we want to listen to you.
Well, look, when I was a little girl, my parents asked me, my mom asked me to go feed some pigs that were behind the house in a pen. I couldn't take more than 10 minutes to do that, to go feed them. So she told me, you open the gate, don't close it, go in, the pigs won't get out, she told me. You go and feed them, you put the food in the first trough, then you calmly go to the second trough. So one of my sisters was about to arrive for that because I lived in a small town on a little ranch and very far from the main ranch. Let's say the ranch was about 300, 400 meters from my house, and you could see the ranch from there. So she told me, your sister is coming today, because my sister lived in Guadalajara and we lived on the ranch. So she told me, your sister is coming today. When the bus that you can see from the ranch passes by, we're going to go meet her. The bus would pass by around 6 or 6:30 in the evening. I went to feed the pigs and she said she'd watch to make sure the bus didn't pass. When I went to feed the pigs, I did what my mom told me. I opened the gate, but I didn't close it. I went to feed them from the trough, and while I was feeding them, I saw the pigs get up to eat. They got up and started eating. After calmly leaving the first trough, I went to the second and was about to feed them there. A little piglet came up to me, and at that moment I saw a light on the ground. Because I was bent over to feed them, I saw a light. So I thought my mom played a prank on me. I thought quickly. Everything happened fast. My sister had already arrived, and surely, well, she just sent me so I could see that my sister was already there. Then at that moment, I felt like the apple of my eye moved like in circles. And then suddenly I saw that the pigs were getting up again and that the first canoe, was already out of food. And the little piglet was still there with me. I tossed them some, but they got up and the pigs resumed eating. So I turned to see who had shined the light on me. Everything happened so fast. I looked again to see who had shined the light on me, and there was no one there. Then at that moment, I saw the light pulling back. It was a light that looked almost liquid, and it started to pull back in front of me. It pulled back. I looked up quickly. It went into a ball. It was a metallic ball, and the ball went up, and it left.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you. The light was coming from above, and when you follow the path of the light, it goes into a ball, and that ball rises into the sky.
Yes, I kept watching the ball until I couldn't see it anymore. No more than 2 minutes passed, and when I came back, the faucet was closed. I thought my mom came after me and closed the door. I left, and when I got there, my mom was very angry. She said to me, "Where were you?" I told her, "Well, I was feeding the pigs. You sent me." And she said, No. From there, where did you go?" I told her I was feeding the pigs. She replied, "It's very late. You arrived at night." She repeated, "It's very late." I asked her, "Mom, are you checking if the bus has already passed?" She told me the bus had passed by long ago. It was nearly 6 in the evening with 15 minutes remaining. It couldn't have happened that way. He told me, "You took so long." He said the bus should have already arrived at its destination. For it to get to its destination, it took about an hour and a half to get there. So I couldn't explain it to myself, but I didn't think anything of it. I just couldn't explain it. And he told me, "It's already very late. Your dad is looking for you and he's coming and he's going to scold you." When he told me it was night, I looked around and saw it was true. My dad was approaching and signaled, asking where I was. I told my dad, "Dad, I saw this." He asked, "Wait, where were you?" I told him I went to feed the pigs because my mom sent me. He asked where I went, but I said I didn't go anywhere. I told him I was there and I said, "But guess what I saw?" He said, "Wait, wait," and started asking me questions. "Did your mother go look for you and not see you?" I said, "Yes, I was there, but for me, no time passed." I said, "Guess what I saw?" and told him. So I told him what I had seen, and he said, "Look, it's already nighttime," he told me. "Behind are the mountains, and the sun is back there." He told me it was a satellite and it left. The satellite told me what you saw was the satellite, but since I lived on a ranch, I could see the stars clearly. I knew what a satellite was. It wasn't a satellite. So I said, "No, Dad, it wasn't a satellite." He insisted it was. The sunlight was behind the mountains, hit the sun, then the satellite, and dazzled you. That's what happened. I didn't believe him or know what it was, but they didn't scold me. A long time later, it had already happened to me before that. I was at school. Can you hear me? Earlier, I was at school. It had happened to me that I was at school and I had asked the teacher for permission to go to the bathroom around 10 in the morning, so I had asked for permission. I went to the bathroom, and when I entered the bathroom, no, I wasn't in the bathroom. I went back.
Wait, wait, wait. Can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me. I want to say something because I have to tell you something, Rosita, and the audience. We lost the connection, the link with you. At the moment when you were narrating about your mother, who was scolding you for the time you had lost, the connection was completely cut off. I stayed on the air but lost your transmission. And I want to say something. I get the impression that there's something going on with these beings that don't want the whole story to be told. I'm not sure if this has happened to you, since it's our first time experiencing it.
Yes, yes, I've always thought that because when I was a child, I couldn't tell anyone. I have 9 siblings. I never told anyone what was happening to me. I just kept quiet. Well, because when I got there, my mom scolded me and told me, "Your dad is coming and it's nighttime." I turned around and saw it was all dark, so I told my dad.
Or did it feel like only seconds or minutes to you while much more time passed in real life? A time when you were abducted or you don't remember what happened? Because maybe, sorry to interrupt, maybe people are telling me that your connection is still active, that people did hear what you said. So I have to clarify this because we're live for the radio, for pop, that the connection with me, with us here in the studio was cut off. But your testimony did stay on YouTube, okay? So those who are watching this video probably already know what you said, but that's why I want to ask you again. When someone goes through these experiences, maybe they remember part of the experience and not the whole thing, and what they don't remember, it still happened, but your memory is somehow erased, right?
Yes, it's happened to me several times, but I didn't realize it. The first time I realized it was when they told me I took a long time, but I didn't think I had taken long because I had just gone and come back to feed the pigs. The first time, I think I took a long time. I think that was the first time I was in school. I must have been about 8 years old. I was in 3rd grade and I had a teacher. I told her at around 10 in the morning. I asked for permission to go to the bathroom. She said yes. I went out to the bathroom, but I didn't go because the bathrooms were dirty and it grossed me out. And when I came back, a girl asked me, "What are you doing there?" I turned and saw the girl, but when I entered, she was gone. I told her I went to the bathroom, but she said I hadn't. She said, "You're right there." I told her I had gone into the bathroom and was already leaving. And at that moment, I saw something and it floated up, so I turned around, but it was so fast, just in a second. I just told the girl, "Look." And the girl asked me, "What was it, a plane?" I told her it wasn't that. It was round and elongated like a plate with many windows. It wasn't like the first one I mentioned, since I think the first one I saw was actually at school, but I didn't realize I lost time there. So I got to school, and when I got to school, my classmate told me, "We're leaving now." I thought we'd leave early and said so, but she replied it was the same as before. I turned to look, and everyone was putting their things away. And the teacher told me, "Rosa, you stay." Everyone else left. She told them, "You can leave, you stay." So I stayed, and when everyone left, she handed me a folded paper and asked me to give it to my mom. Don't read it, but on the way I read it, and it told my mom that I was leaving class and not coming back. I wondered why the teacher was such a liar and why she wanted me to get scolded. But when I got home, there was already food, and I saw that the clock already showed it was 2 in the afternoon. So I thought, did I really take that long? And well, I didn't know at what moment I took so long or what happened, but I forgot about it. I never showed the paper to my mom, and the teacher never said anything to me. Then there was a dam near my house, and I liked to go there to the dam because there were little frogs and all that. So I would go there, and one time when I got there, suddenly it was already night, and I didn't know why, that's all. Suddenly it was already night, and I got anxious. I thought, are they going to scold me? I don't know how long my mom might be looking for me. And in that moment of anxiety, when I felt really anxious, I appeared behind the house. So then I ran and told my mom, "Mom, I was at the dam and I showed up back here." She told me, "No, honey, you're not lying." So I didn't say anything else. That's it. I said, "Okay," but I didn't tell anyone else. I didn't tell my siblings.
It must be hard. Sorry for the people who might just be starting to connect with your story. These extraterrestrial contacts, where they also erased your memory, started to create these time gaps where, for your own perception, nothing was missing, but others would point it out to you, and obviously, when you could notice the passage of time outside. I understand that it also makes you wonder, am I going crazy? Does it give you a strange feeling?
I didn't think anything. I was a little girl and I would really forget when things happened because I didn't think anything. I just thought it was strange, and instead of forgetting it, I just stopped thinking about it.
Okay, so you wouldn't obsess over it.
When I was about 16 years old. Also, one time I got scolded because I took too long. Since there was no bathroom in my house, I would just go somewhere nearby, close to the house. It never took me more than 10 minutes. When I returned, my sister said, "I've been looking for you. Mom's really mad because you took so long." What I thought was that they didn't notice what time I left. I thought they didn't notice I went out and now they're looking for me. I told my sister I just went out, and she said, "No, you were gone for hours." So I just couldn't understand. So they thought I was with some boyfriend or something, and I told them, "No, no." My sister would say, "Tell me." I won't tell mom. Tell me, they won't scold you." I told them I didn't go out, but they still punished me.
Rosita, I want to ask you, later on in the timeline of this story, did you have contact with these beings again? Did you see them again? Tell me, I'm dying of curiosity.
Yes, this was already when I was older, around 33 years old. I started to get curious about everything that had happened. So I told my husband about it, and he said, "Well, they took you. What else can you think about?" He told me, "They took you. If you don't remember anything, they took you." So when I was about 16 years old, I didn't know about them when I was about 16 or 18. I came with a sister from Guadalajara, and there she told me, "Look, this show is interesting." That's where I started to realize it was a show with a man named Nino Canun. So I started watching and I thought, would that happen to me? But I didn't tell my sister, I just thought about it myself. The people who were there remembered something, but I didn't remember anything. So that's what happened when I was about 33, 35 years old. I began to feel the energy that always came to me in the early morning, even when I was a child. I felt like someone was coming to me, but I don't know if it was a ghost or something else. I think it was them because the girl from school would tell me, "You all are rich. They have light, their own light. At night, you can see that they turn on the light." And I would tell her, "No, we don't have light." And she would say, "Yes, yes, you do have light." My mom woke me up and told me from above the house to look that, yes, they have a light bulb there turned on. So, well, I didn't, and it lit up my whole house. So when I was already grown up, when I was about 33 years old, I got curious about it and I told my dad, well, that time I didn't take long or anything. I told him. Then he told me, "Look, I know someone who was also taken and they brought him back a long time later. It's good that they brought you back. Don't mess with that," he told me. "Don't mess with that because I've always wanted to have a regression to find out what happened to me." He told me, "Don't mess with it. Just leave it. It's better." Then I noticed that in the early mornings, I regained the same energy I had as a child.
When they visited you in the early morning, did you experience sleep paralysis? Were you paralyzed while you were having the experience?
Everyone says it could be paralysis, but it's not paralysis. I was really awake. I just couldn't move. I really was awake because it happened to both me and my sister. My sister was in another bed, and what happened to me would then happen to her. And I didn't tell my sister because I didn't like her coming to sleep in my bed. And if I told her this just happened to me, she would run to my bed because she was scared. So I didn't say anything to her, but it wasn't sleep paralysis because it would happen to both of us, one after the other together. Then when I was about 33 years old, I felt that energy again, that energy and that fear that I felt. So I would tell my husband on hold me because they're here. I would just say they're here because I could feel the presence and I never saw anything until later when we moved to a new house and one early morning we had only been there for a little while, maybe a year, 6 months since we moved. When I saw the window light up and the light hit my eyes, I opened my eyes and saw the window was very bright. So I told my husband, "Look, why is the light on if the patio light is burned out? The bulb is burned out." And he said to me, "Hey, it's probably the neighbors," but without knocking. So I kept looking at the light, which was extremely bright and clear, so white. I kept my eyes closed as the light grew even stronger. Yes, it shone in my eyes. I opened them again and I looked out. When I looked out, I saw the light above the neighbor's house. The light shone like that toward my window. For it to reach my window, it had to be in my neighbor's house. That thing, the ship, so the light reached my window, and when I looked out, I saw that the light grew like this. It was like this when I looked out, and then it got bigger. So I thought my neighbors saw me. I thought it was my neighbors who were shining the light at the window. And when I looked out, they saw me and turned off the light. But I only saw a flash like lightning in another window.
Rosita, and what you're describing, I mean, just to clarify, to add an interpretation or a hypothesis, the fact that you experience seeing the light and then don't remember what else happened in between doesn't mean that nothing happened, because maybe one could think that at the beginning of the moment when you see the light, they take you and return you at the moment when you see that the light is no longer there. And even if you don't remember it. Now, I want to ask you if you have any memories of being inside a ship, of talking to them, of seeing them. I need you to tell me.
Yes, after that, after I saw the light, a lot of time passed, like 5 years, but all that time I thought it was my neighbors. My husband would say to me, "Remember, they must have done something to you. Remember?" I don't remember anything, and suddenly a memory came to me. I remember being lying down, well, in a place with a lot of fog, and I saw 7 beings. There were 7. The 3 in front of me, I could see them clearly, but I couldn't see their faces. I could see their silhouettes because there was a very bright light behind them and in the middle of the fog of a mist, so I could only see their silhouettes. There were 7, 2 on each side of me and others by my feet. They didn't grab me or anything, they were just above me. There was something big, a large wheel with a point coming out from the middle like a nut with a screw, but it was a point. Then that point made a lot of noise and started spinning, and everything happened really fast. It spun like this very fast, and the noise was really loud like a drill. It came down toward me, but really thin like a needle, even though it was thick. After that, I don't remember anything else.
So you were on some kind of stretcher lying on your back and something came down, like a kind of needle that came down to your eyes and
No, it came down toward my stomach.
to your stomach. And before it made contact or penetrated you, you blacked out, you don't remember anything.
No, I don't remember anything anymore.
What were these 7 beings like? Can you describe them?
They were like silhouettes. They were like hands, but very thin, as if they were inside one of those thin women's stockings.
Okay.
That's how I saw them, because the light behind them and the heavy fog made it impossible to see them clearly. You couldn't see their eyes? But later, when I was home alone because my children were at school, I was by myself. It suddenly occurred to me, so I turned and saw 3 inside my house.
Whoa.
But it was like I didn't know the whole second, so I wondered what I was seeing, but I no longer thought it was my imagination. Then it was like 5 years that I saw the light, not every day, but I would see the light in the early mornings. Every time I saw the light, that light made me get up. And one time I ended up in the yard, and I turned around, I saw something go by really fast, like a ball, really fast, and I turned and it did this to me, like it. And when it did that, I saw a man there. He was kind of shiny, like silver, like glossy, as if he was wet. You could see his muscles reflecting. But since I only saw him for a moment, less than a second, just like that, when I looked again, he was gone, and above the sky was dark, all black, and suddenly the sky was clear. I don't know how much time passed there. So I went inside. My husband was already up, and I said to him, "I don't know where our neighbors put their lights." I told him I didn't know where our neighbors put their lights. I didn't know when I went outside or anything.
Rosita, after the episode where you were somehow kidnapped by these 7 beings, that experimentation they do, which we don't really know what the objective was, I want to ask you if after that episode you experienced anything in your body, any symptoms or anything in your life. That makes sense. That could be understood as a consequence of what they did to you.
Huh? I think I became deaf. I use a hearing aid.
I tell people, yes, I use hearing aids.
I think the noise it made left me deaf because I started to hear. I heard as if they were speaking into a microphone, but it was badly positioned. So,
Like distorted?
yeah, I couldn't understand anything. So I went to get my ear checked, and they told me my ear was fine, that I hadn't been exposed to any loud noise. But I still didn't remember that noise I had heard. I mean, it still hadn't come to my mind. I still didn't remember it. I told them no, that I hadn't heard anything until everything came back to me, until suddenly I felt like talking about it. And I told the neighbor that I saw the light there, that I always thought the light they were shining was them. So I told the neighbor, I said, "Hey, do you believe in extraterrestrials?" She said, "Oh, well, I didn't believe, but there was already one up here," she told me, "right above the house. So the two houses are right next to each other." And I said, "Oh, really?" And then the man started telling me, he said, "It was a ship as big as 12 meters." He told me, and it was low. He said, she told me, "I thought they were taking the cables from the pole," she said. "They had a very strong, very white light," she told me, "and they were standing up here," she said. They were coming from, when they were coming early in the morning, and from far away, they could see the light, and they thought, "Well, what is that light? What is that light?" She said, "And when we got here, it was there." She said, "It was a triangle. It was a pyramid," they told me. "And what about that light, that when they arrived, they turned off the light and put up several lights that spun around, the little lights that were spinning, and that it left calmly, very slowly, that it left slowly," she said. "And about the colored lights, young ones, lights like the ones that don't exist here," she said, "a light that is very bright." I don't know.
I'm really struck by the coincidence, not just in the abduction story, but also in the shape of the craft. You said it wasn't even triangular, but pyramidal, I mean, in 3 dimensions. We're seeing and receiving a lot of testimonies on the show from people who witnessed those pyramid shaped crafts flying at low altitude. You can already understand hypothetically that these are smaller crafts near us, perhaps to capture and experiment on humans. I mean, considering the consequence you had of becoming deaf, I mean, maybe there's something else that could happen in the future. I'd like to keep talking with you, Rosita, if that's okay with you. We'll have a second interview since you provided plenty to analyze, and I have more questions about the future. About what one might think is going to happen globally with these beings, with these sightings, right? But I'll leave that for a second part. I want to thank you for being with us tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Do you want to leave a personal contact method in case there are other followers from around the world who are watching this, listening to this, and want to get in touch with you? If you want to leave an email, a social network, something personal, so that other abductees can write to you directly.
You have my regular email, right?
Do you want to say it?
I don't know it.
You don't remember? We'll look it up now and announce it on air. Thanks for joining us, Rosita, sending a kiss.
Thank you.
A big kiss. Goodbye. That's how we start the show, with abductions and paranormal phenomena. I mean, for those who just arrived, the segment went a bit long because everything cut off as soon as we started. But what happened was really strange.